Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby, and today I wanted to do just a little bit of junk journaling. So basically what I'm going to do is show you the junk journaling supplies that I have, and this is very much like a beginner. There's no right way of doing it, so there's really no like beginner. I'm fairly new to junk journaling. It's something that I did a little bit growing up, and I called it collaging. It wasn't in a journal, it was on like pieces of paper, and I would cut out stuff from magazines. So it was almost a mix between like a vision board and a junk journal. But the way that I do it is very basic, very beginner, and also very budget friendly. So I wanted to show you kind of the supplies that I'm working with, and maybe it can give you some ideas of ways you can start your junk journal and kind of have it be on a budget as well. So, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do a spread. I'm gonna put my tripod here beside me, and I'm gonna have it hopefully so you can see everything. And I'm just going to record me kind of junk journaling a whole spread. To get started, I'll just kind of show you a few things that I have, just kind of the basics. And what I would personally start out with, I have some extra things that I can also show you, but I wanted to start out just showing you the basics. So the journal that I have right now, it's really big and I really like it. I like a larger notebook for this, and this is a journal that I've had since at least I was in high school. So it's been over 10 years that I've had this journal, but it was originally, I think it's like a watercolor notebook because it's watercolor paper in here. But really any journal will do, it doesn't matter. You can also do like a spiral bound, but I like one that is not spiral bound just because I can do a whole spread like this that is all one page. So as you can see, I journaled this Disney trip that I did, and then I also have ones that are kind of separate pages. These one actually looks like they must go together, but they're technically like separate spreads. So anyway, I like one that is not spiral bound, so I can kind of do a full spread like that. So anyways, of course you want to start out with a journal, and you can use literally anything you want. So what I personally use, I do not have really any stickers. I do not have any letters. I do not have any scrapbook paper really. I have some stuff, but I have not gone out and bought like a big thing of scrapbook paper or any types of stickers. So what I mainly use are magazines. And the reason I do that is because they are actually free at my library. So my library takes magazine donations. They just have a little bin, and not every library does this, but they just have a little bin where people can make donations. And sometimes the old magazines that the library has that you can check out, they will eventually like phase those out and delete them from the system, and then those will be in that donation bin as well. So you might check your library and see if they have anything similar like that. But if not, oftentimes thrift stores will also have magazines. I know one very close to me that has, I think they're like 25-cent magazines. So a very cheap way of doing it. And the way that I do it is I use the magazine for backgrounds as well as I cut out letters. And I can show you, I probably should just show you in my junk journal itself. So here's an example of using a magazine page as a background. It makes it look really nice in my opinion. And then, okay, here's another example. So both of these have backgrounds from magazines, and then as you can see at the top, I have those letters, and all of those letters I've cut out of magazines. So it's a really cheap way of doing it. It's a little more labor intensive maybe than scrapbook paper or just having letters like that. Maybe you've seen, if you're interested in junk journaling, maybe you've seen the they're like stickers with like mismatched letters like that, with that kind of look. But you can definitely do that with magazines. It is a little more time intensive, but it is a lot cheaper. And then another thing you can do is cut out just different pictures or shapes or whatever from the magazines as well and use them in your junk journal. So this is a good example. So here's another example of the letters. And then I don't know if you can see, but there is a Coke bottle being poured that I cut out of a magazine. There's like an M&M packet somewhere around here. Same thing with this. I cut out that cold brew glass. You can't really tell, but I cut a cold brew glass out of a magazine to put there, and that kind of coincides with the rest of the page, but it's just a really cheap, easy way of junk journaling and having kind of scrapbooking supplies without spending so much money on scrapbook paper or stickers and stuff like that. And again, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. So if you want to spend the money on scrapbook paper and stickers and kind of go all out, then that's great. But like for me, I'm working on a budget right now, and so I really need something that's going to be really cheap. So that's kind of how I use the magazines, and that is probably one of the top things I use for my junk journal, that's not just like scraps or trash. And another thing I will do is thrift like a vintage book or something like that, and you can use book pages as the background as well. Here's another example. I found this at the thrift store, and I thought this would be a really fun to put in a junk journal for like a Disney spread or something like that. So I thought that could be really fun too. But again, these are just like really cheap ways, and like think of how much, like this is a lot of paper. This is a lot of background that you could use. And this was probably like what, maybe a couple dollars. So that is a really great cheap way of doing it. Other basics that you need obviously are scissors. Something that I got recently that it's not necessary at all, but it is nice to have like a little X-Acto knife. If you have something you want to cut out of a magazine, it just makes it a little bit easier. And then of course, glue. I mainly use glue sticks because they're very cheap. If you need something a little bit more heavy duty, you can use like school glue. I have just regular tape, and then you can also get the little tapes that you just like can go like that on the page with. I have some of those, but I really honestly don't use them that much. The main thing I use is the glue sticks, and that's the cheapest thing. So that is really great. But those are honestly the main things that I use. So in addition to some of those magazine and like book page backgrounds, I do have some like plain brown paper that I use. I also have like, this is, and again, you do not have to buy this. This is all just stuff that I have in my house just already that was just sitting there. So I have some like literally like the most basic paper in the world. I don't know what you call this. It's like the primary color craft paper or whatever. And then I also have just literally plain notebook paper. This makes a great background. Like, that's really cute. This is something you don't like need to buy, but I got it at a discount store near us called Ollie's. I got this for $2. It's supposed to be a coloring book, but I mean, you could frame these because they're very pretty. But there are these nature prints, but these would make great backgrounds as well, and definitely on a budget. Some extras that you can purchase if you want. This one's a little more pricey, but it is a photo printer. This is really, really nice. You can also get prints at like Walgreens or CVS, like a drugstore or something. It's fairly cheap to print photos if you really want to do that, but this is definitely convenient. My friend is letting me borrow this right now, which is very, very kind of her. Another fun thing you can use is like washi tape. This is stuff that has been literally sitting in my house for ages, but you do not need this. This is just if you want to buy washi tape. You can get little cutouts like these. This is a heart one. I've had this for a really long time because I think I was using it for like my wedding or something. This is another extra thing you can get, but again, not necessary. It's like a paper cutter to round the edges of your paper and make it look a lot cleaner. And then organization wise, the most helpful thing I found is I got these little organizer boxes off Amazon, and this is where I organize my letters. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can literally cut out the letters that you need as you are making your spread, and you don't even need to do that ahead of time. Again, it's just spending more money and it's not necessary. Here's another thing. I had some old stamps that I thought would be fun to journal. And these are little phrases that I'd cut out of magazines before that I have organized in those little boxes. And this is the most helpful thing that I found. I had this random folder laying around. So I ordered these little like file divider things, and they're clear, but they also zip, so they close. So these are all things that I've cut out of magazines in these. This is for just like junk that I've accumulated. I don't have much right now, but anyways, it's just a good way of storing things. These are some stickers I've accumulated over the years. Most of them are like Attack on Titan stickers that I doubt I will ever use in my junk journal, but these are more like cards and different things that I've kept over the years. I have like drawers of cards and notes that people have written me. Maybe one day I will journal them, I don't know, but I have some of them in here in case I want to journal them. And here's where I also cut out any backgrounds that I see in magazines. This was just a binder that was laying around, and then I can link these because I do find this really helpful. Like, I find it a helpful way of storing things for junk journaling. So anyways, that was a little bit long-winded, so I apologize, and I'm kind of losing the light, so let's get started on junk journaling today. If we lose the light, I'll have to turn on the overhead dining room light, which will be kind of annoying, but it's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I know that what I want to journal today, and that is some of the stuff that I got yesterday from our little girls trip that we went on to the mountains. So I have my little coffee sticker. This is a list of the different ciders that we tried. My receipt for my coffee. And then I got a little sticker from the coffee shop we went to, one of my favorite coffee shops. This I'm not journaling, this is actually a card for someone, so I won't be using that. But I also want to print out some photos from that girls trip because I think it will look really, really cute. So let's go ahead and open up a new page. So since it was a fall trip to the mountains, I know I want to use that really fall looking background. Yes, this one here. So I know I want to use this. And I think I'll go ahead and use this corn maze one. I really, really like it. And it has those mountains in the background, which I think is really pretty. So I think that will be perfect. But if I didn't have a background that I really liked, then I could just use something from here. Actually, I wonder, and again, I'm gonna do all of this in real time. So I wonder if, since we went to the bookstore and it had that kind of vibe, I wonder if a nice book page would look good, or like a couple book pages. So like that. No, I think this looks more continuous. I think I'm gonna stick with that. And then maybe I can use some of these book pages as well, just in a different way. I'm just gonna quick check this magazine. I have this like, is this fall? Yeah, this is a fall magazine. I have this fall magazine that I just wanna like skim through and see if I see a background that would be better than this corn maze one, because I'm not like super convinced. I just saw something. That's cute. Ooh, that one. That's very fallish. Ooh, or this one too. I think I'm gonna do this one. I think that's perfect. I actually like that better than the corn maze one. I'll probably use the corn one for another page, another time. Actually, I kind of wanted to save the corn one for a different spread anyway, because I grew up in the country, and so I grew up like running through cornfields, and it's very like nostalgic to me. So I feel like it'd be perfect for a kind of nostalgic type spread, even with just like cute family photos, like candid family photos or something like that, or like and notes from family. I think that could be cute. So anyway, okay, so let's see how this is gonna look. Okay, love that, love that, love that. Okay, that's actually perfect. Obviously, these do not fit the entire page, so I actually really do. I love the torn look like this, and I do that quite often with my spreads. Like you'll see, this one here, I did that. This one, I guess I didn't do that with that one. This one I think I had cut out at one point, and I don't think I want it actually torn this time. I think I'm gonna use scissors and just cut it this way and kind of put it in the center of the page. I think it'll still look fine. And by the way, I went ahead and turned on the overhead light just because it is actually getting dark. Literally yesterday was the time change, and so it gets dark out so quickly, and I am just not used to it. So not quite used to it yet. So I think what I'm gonna do is just glue it like this. I think that will be good, and that would be a decent background. So oh my gosh, look at that. That background's really pretty too. I think I'm gonna stick with what I had. I probably need to go ahead and start printing out my photos because they kind of take a little while to print. And I am not precise. I'm perfectionist definitely in some areas, but with this, I don't feel too perfectionist, which is actually really nice. Maybe that's a good sign. It's a good hobby for me because I'm not like super worried about it being perfect. Why did that just remind me of Bob Ross? You know how Bob Ross is always just like giving his little tutorial? What would Bob Ross say in this moment? Did I just tear that? What the frig was that? Oh my word, this page is tearing out. Okay, this page is somewhat tearing out, I think because I had torn out a page here before. It's like somewhat tearing down there, but it'll stay in my journal just fine. So here's the base of our thing. Print out some photos, or start printing out some photos. I'm only gonna do a few because it can be a little pricey to print on this little thing. Just with the cartridges, they're kind of expensive. So I don't really tend to use too much. Probably end up printing out 4. That's more than I normally do. These are gonna start printing out. So I'm just gonna leave that to go ahead. Hopefully it doesn't run out of battery. So I have these other little things that I want to put on there. So I'll probably go ahead and start putting these here. And I like to do kind of different things like this with my receipts and kind of have it like going off the page a little bit. But I do like kind of creating a little bit of contrast. Not that serious, but with kind of like folding up the receipt like that and then having it go off the page a little bit, and then I will cut off the sides of it like that. I need to think a little bit about this. I think I want to do kind of like hold up. What if I did like my little, I actually think I want to do the book page as like a background for the photos. Would that not be cute? I feel like that would be so cute. I think I'm gonna do that. So do like this and then cut around it. Let me see if there's anything else in here I want to use before I move on. That way I don't, and then I think I want to use, I have like a couple, oh my gosh. Okay, this is actually so funny because I feel like I've been seeing people discuss this online. Did you ever have like a sticker pack or something as a kid that you just saved and never used? I did this as an adult. I've had this sticker pack, I don't know how long. And as an adult, I never used it because I don't know why, I just didn't. So we're going to be using this. I know this is not technically like a Halloween spread per se. Like I had saved this to use, but I don't think I think it's a little too much. No, it's nice, but I don't want it to scream Halloween, to be honest with you. Okay, so all of my pictures are printed out. Lovely. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I actually really want to use. Unless there was something in that coloring book that could be cute if it was like a some type of, something that's like very North Carolina, you know? Since this is like mountains of North Carolina type thing. I love these. I think I definitely want to use one of these. Not a sand, this is all beach stuff. No, no. No. Something like, no, not a tomato, that's very summery. Something like a fall fruit or vegetable. Apple? That would be cute. Okay, oh, a dogwood. That's too big though. That's too big for the page, isn't it? You know what? I'm gonna do the apple one. Okay. I'm gonna tear it out. Okay, this is a little bit too chaotic now. Okay, I think since this is gonna be kind of like a base, I'm gonna use this. Go ahead and and I do not have one of those things that cut things evenly. Try not to worry about that too much. No, not that. Okay, like this. I think that would be nice. And I'm gonna use this little corner cutter. And I think that will make it look nice. Sometimes this thing does not work though. Well, that somewhat worked. Okay, and put that here. I'm just gonna do it. Calm down, Abby. It's not that serious. Okay. And that'll be perfect for like, with the whole like cider winery theme. Not that there's a theme to it, but since we did go to a cidery. Okay, love that. So then a background for this. I'm gonna just use it as is. This. No, I'm gonna do like this. No. I'm gonna, okay, put like my two photos like this, like that. My other two photos over here. My coffee thing here, sorry, this is like sticky, so I'm not really setting it down anywhere. Okay, so generally like this, I think is how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna start on this side and I'm gonna glue this down. I just realized I'm filming this in 4K and I didn't mean to, but I guess we're gonna get 4K junk journaling today. Hold up. What if I did like this and it's kind of cut off like that? Oh, I'm cutting the page, my bad. Okay, I think that's nice. And then what I wanted to do with these photos is, and I might have to use multiple pages, but that, oh. Okay, so this glue stick is done for. Okay, I think that's okay. Okay, so let's cut these out. So this is probably one of the last like fallish things I will do because, so for reference, I'm filming this November 3rd. I probably will post it within the next few days, but, okay, this is actually so, okay, hold up. I just remembered I want to do like a little title at the top. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I completely forgot. Okay, good thing I went ahead and turned on the light because it is getting so dark. Oh my gosh. I want to do, I think I'm going to do, have it say Boone, North Carolina, or Boone Day Trip. I think I'm going to do that. I think that'll be really cute. Okay, I have these little tweezers to get these letters out because they are so thin and like stacked on each other. Okay. Okay, this is going to be actually such a cute spread if I can get it. If I can get it how I want it. Okay, actually, the colors of this would be so cute. Boone Day Trip. That is actually so cute. I love that. So I definitely want to do that I want to make sure I have room for it. I don't like that this says view from here. So I think I want to cover that up. So what I'm going to do is like put the things here. And then I'm going to do something to cover that up. I think I'm going to do like a piece of paper, but I'm going to actually tear it, because that is another little, not a tip, but I personally enjoy, just for like contrasting texture, to tear stuff like that. Okay, so that will cover up. It doesn't really cover it up. I'm gonna just use another page. Okay, I'll just go ahead and do that. And then what I'm going to do, put glue on the area like I want to cover up, like that. And then put that over it like this. And then I'll cut off. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these letters down so that they're stuck down, and I definitely need a new glue stick. Okay, so my letters are glued down. That looks very cute in my opinion. And what I'm going to do now is perfect. So these pictures fit there literally perfectly. So I'm going to glue those down. Perfect. Okay, this side is mostly done. So I'm going to move on to this side. So I know I want to put these on the book background. See, why is that not sticking? I put so much glue. I don't know. Sometimes they don't stick down perfectly, but that is okay. So yeah, so I'm going to glue these down. Okay, so I glued these down onto that paper. The only thing that I have left to put on here is these pictures. Then I have my hatchet sticker and my coffee sticker. So let me figure out how I want to do this. That's not it. Maybe that. Like this. And that there. Maybe that there. Nothing quite fits right. Honestly, that's fine. So I'm going to glue that down here. Oh dear. My glue stick is... My glue stick is not the greatest right now. Okay, that's fine. And then I'm just going to put the hatchet sticker there. And then I'm going to do my pictures like this. Okay, perfection. Actually, I don't feel like that's perfection, but it's what I did. So I think since I did this corner here, I kind of want to do the same corner over here. And I think that will be nice, just to cover up that hour state a little bit. So I think I'm going to do that. Glue on there. I don't know what happened there. Then I'm going to cut off the excess here. Okay, perfect. And then I want to use some of these little stickers. You know what? Should I use all of them? Because what am I waiting for, you know? Oh my word, I'm so scared to use them. Okay, I think this guy is gonna go here. This guy's gonna go here. This guy's gonna go here. This guy's gonna go here. That guy's gonna go there. This guy here. I think this needs to just fill some space here, so I think that's fine. Okay, the Halloween dogs are very cute. Okay, so I want to say that's it. Yeah, I want to say that's it. Okay, I'm actually so happy with the way this turned out. This is one of my favorite spreads I think I've done. Okay, I'm gonna take the camera off and then we can look a little closer up at everything. Okay, here's how everything turned out, a little closer up. I'll kind of pan across. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. I think this is so cute. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me on this. I can't believe how much time it took for me to like just even talk about my supplies. This is one of my favorite hobbies ever right now. I think it is so much fun. And I am so happy with the way this turned out. So let me know if you guys have any questions at all about junk journaling. Obviously, it is so subjective. It's just for fun. There's no right way or wrong way to do anything. But yeah, if you want links to anything, let me know. Obviously, most of this stuff is not something I can link just because most of it is either thrifted or trash or just old stuff that I had. So, but if there is anything that you would like a link to, let me know and I can definitely get that for you. And let me know if you guys want to see any videos like this in the future. I would love to do them. It's just junk journaling is something I've been doing really often lately. And so I would love to just take you along and kind of show you the process. I guess my question is, do you enjoy watching the full process like that? And like the thought process as you put everything together. Let me know if you like that type of video. And as I junk journal just in my regular life, I can bring you along and it could be fun. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe as well for more cozy hobby videos, lifestyle videos, and similar stuff like that. So with that, I will see you in the next video.